part 2 of my summertime houseplant tour 2025, and I'm hoping, since the temperature is much cooler today, that I'll be able to cover all the plants in the hallway, plants in the kitchen, and I've also got a propagation box. So we do have a lot to get through, so it's probably best we just get straight into this video. I'm going to try my very best to make it as short as possible, but at the same time, you know what I'm like once I start talking about my plants. So we have a bit of an overcast day and the hallway is looking a bit gloomy right now, so let's start here in my kitchen. This is my begonia. It's a very small cutting of the larger one that you would have seen in my living room tour, and it's in pure sphagnum moss. But I absolutely love this plant. It's so gorgeous. Check out those leaves. Stunning. Up here, this is my Scindapsus. It's the Silvery Ann. And I've had loads and loads of this plant. It grows like a beast, and then I chopped it all up just before the winter actually. And I gave some away, I sold some, and this is what I kept for myself. And it was like one of the first plants that I went hunting for. She's not looking that amazing, to be quite honest. It is a plant that I do tend to ignore now. Moving on. This is my orchid, my only orchid. I've had many orchids in my time and I've never done well with them. Basically, I'd buy them with the flowers. Once they fall off, I could be waiting up to a year before they bloom again. But this one I managed to get to bloom again. She had two, I think they call them spikes. She had two of them. Oh, look at those. Aren't they just stunning? Really very pretty. Yeah, so there were two. I think the plant bloomed maybe 6 months ago and these flowers are still here. So they're clearly very happy in my kitchen, and yeah, I think the orchid really appreciates being here in the kitchen. I did repot my orchid pretty much as soon as I bought it, and it threw out, I know, a load of leaves. I think I've got about 10 or 12 leaves there. She gets quite a bit of light, but it's just for a certain amount of time during the day. This is a northwest facing window or skylight. I have two, I've got a little cutting of my Scindapsus there. I accidentally pulled a bit off actually, and I popped that in there yesterday. And then I have two of these, which are Hoyas, a Hoya carnosa compacta. I recently chopped the main plant, which is that one, and then I just started rooting this one, and the roots are, oh my gosh, the roots are nuts. And I mean, that is probably just over a week. Just over a week ago, I chopped this plant and propagated it. I put it directly into pond with a little bit of great white. It's like a rooting hormone, and those roots have just gone nuts. I absolutely adore this plant. I'm now gonna put those two in with the rest of the plant and just make it kind of a bit bushier and fuller, and then I'm just gonna leave it. I won't chop it again. I'm looking forward to that one blooming. It's gonna be so, so nice. Up here is my Hoya rotundiflora, which bloomed for the very first time this year. It pushed out all these peduncles. Unfortunately, the blooms are gone, but I've done several Hoya videos recently, so you can go and check those out. I think they're called blooming Hoyas or first time bloomers. I also did a short, so you can have a look at that as well. This is my Hoya parasitica. No, what am I saying? This is my Hoya crassipetiolata Splash, and I got this as a gift from a subscriber that was downsizing, so I really appreciate it. I actually almost lost this plant. The leaves are stunning. Yeah, and I had to chop it up and start again. I mean, I think I only had 2 leaves to begin with, but yeah, it was quite a sad day to see it deteriorating, but it's back on point. It's actually in like this tiny little orchid pot. So it does have drainage holes. Not many of my orchids have pots with drainage holes, but this one does, and it seems to be quite happy. Oh, she's right on the edge. This tall guy here, one of my very first Hoyas, it's the Hoya Pubicalix Splash. Let me come back a bit. And it's in this really tall glass vessel, which I bought from IKEA. But you can find these vessels everywhere. Look at those roots. And I also put 2 sticks just so that I could kind of create a bit of a trellis. Yeah, I really love the way that it's looking. And Sheila's very happily there in the corner. Next is my Hoya Polynera Bougette. It's got like a little bit of variegation. I've recently taken it out of the highlight that it was once in, and I think I'm going to start getting more variegation again. I hope that's not... Oh no, did I just snap those leaves? And that's like... let me just have a... Yeah, I did. Oh no, I need to be careful. Okay, no more touching you. But yeah, she's an adorable plant. I will actually chop and prop this plant soon, just so that I can have at least 3 kind of tendrils in that pot. But yeah, that's quite sad. Okay, over here I have more Hoyas. And actually, you know what? I think I'm going to take them down because my arm is hurting. Hang on. This one is my Hoya Singulatus. It's got something very rustic and rural about it. Very autumnal. It's very autumny. I don't know if that's a word, but I can't think of the other one. Another one in a no drainage pot with pon. And I did struggle with this plant in the beginning, but it seems to be happier. The less I interfere with it, the happier it seems to be. So that's good. This guy is my Hoya Crahanianum Super Silver, and she is full of peduncles. The bloom is absolutely gorgeous, very delicate and whimsical, and the scent is like a perfume, very floral, very pretty. The leaves are stunning. There's a little kind of heart shape, little teardrops, and sometimes you get like a little bit of variation, which is nice. But this guy is getting a lot of highlight, and so that's why it's looking a lot silverier, a lot more like a silver than if I had it in a darker area. I'd have darker green parts. But of course I want that guy to bloom, so it's up here. And I have another section of it just there. This guy is, oh, hello. This is my Hoya Curtisii. Wow, she's doing all the things. I'm not sure, I think, I don't know, that plant, that leaf looks very unusual. I think there's a part of the Matilde in there. There is. Yeah, those leaves there are actually a Hoya Matilde. How strange that it's now in this pot. I don't know how that happened. That was obviously me. But anyway, this is Hoya Curtisii, and also got like a bit of a rustic autumn vibe going. The redness on the back. It's actually quite a cute plant. Now that it's getting bigger, I'm definitely appreciating it a lot more. But yeah, she's very pretty. And again, just don't fuss around it. Very easy plant to care for. Okay, next. Okay, these guys can stay there. This one is, I'm not even going to try and say its name. Oh my gosh, this long bit just grew out of nowhere. That is just bizarre. Bizarre. Are you trying to root into that part? You are, aren't you? That's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna have to sort that out later. But yeah, this one is my Hoya Hirschlinki something, the variegated one. And this plant really loves the light. As you can see, it's trying to crawl back up to the position that it was in before, because this plant actually was a lot higher. And look how green it is. It's definitely trying to get back up there. It's like, no, I need my variegation. Oh my gosh, I'm really waffling on. Okay, next. Next is this one, which is my Hoya Mathilde Super Silver. And she pushed out peduncles this year and bloomed for the first time. I think I had two blooms at the same time on this plant. The leaves are quite splashy, and yeah, the blooms are absolutely gorgeous. This one, and you can see it's got a full little peduncle of blooms coming. This one is my Hoya my Hoya Cherokee, or I'll throw the name up because I just don't know how to say it. But yeah, this one has been blooming as well for the first time this year. Absolutely love it. If you put this plant in lower lighting, then the leaves will be much darker, which does look prettier, but again, I wanted it to bloom, so here we are. This one, oh my goodness. This is my Hoya Breviolata, and we have been through some dramas. Yeah, this plant almost kicked the bucket, but we're back on form. Luckily, Great White saved the day, and we've got a fresh batch of leaves growing, which is so nice to see. Next is my Hoya, is this one the Retusa? I think it's Retusa. It almost looks like a Ripsalis actually. I do struggle from time to time with this plant. It has bloomed for me. It bloomed for the first time last year, and the bloom was so pretty. Little white bloom with a fleck of mauve in the center. Yeah. Next is my Ripsalis. This one is the Ripsalis Terres F Capilliformis. I think I said that right. And it's just been growing like nuts. I put it in a jam jar. It does have desert mix, so it's got like a soilless mix. And then at the bottom I put like a reservoir, like I've done with most of my plants actually. So yeah, it gets like a little reservoir of water and that keeps it going. I would say that this particular Ripsalis is quite thirsty. Next, in fact, the last plant in the kitchen is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and I got another part of this plant in the hallway, so we'll see that just now. I grew this from a wet stick, and I must say it's not the easiest plant for me. I've not found it so easy, but we're still getting to know one another. I feel that it doesn't really like highlight, and of course my home is very bright. Fingers crossed it'll just keep growing and I'll not have any more issues with it. But yeah, I did recently have to chop this thing up. So the mother plant, or the bottom part of the plant, which had no leaves left, is in the hallway. So let's go to the hallway. This is the entrance to my home. So this is what I get to see on my way in and out. And generally, if there are plants on the stairs, then they're kind of on their way out the front door. This is my Oxalis triangularis, which has seen better days. It was much bigger and fuller last year, and I'm planning on putting that in the garden. This, I can't even remember the name of this plant, but it's a Ripsalis, and I'm not mad about it. I was meant to actually get rid of that in my last purge, and I don't know, somehow it stayed. This is my other ficus. So if you've seen my first tour, you would have seen the variegated one and the ruby. This is the Teninki. She's quite interesting, but really I should be giving it much higher light because you can see the leaf spacing is just so far apart. But for now it's living here. Hopefully I'll find a better place for it. And that's its new leaf, which is adorables. I love the little pink tone. You get that red sinus or veination down the center. And yeah, it's just a really pretty leaf. Next is a very sad looking Anthurium Bakeri. So one of the seedlings. Another pretty turtle. I have another one in the living room if you haven't seen that one. She is getting ready to burst with flowers. One of my favorite plants. And I've had, this is actually a pup from the larger plant. Have a look at those leaves. Yeah, she's gorgeous. This guy is my Epipremna Marble Queen. And I decided to put it on a pole and just come around. Yeah, it's on a moss pole, as you can see, and it's absolutely full of roots. And yeah, I just love the leaf of this plant. It's a really easy plant to take care of, especially since it is a variegated plant. It doesn't actually need to be in as high a light as it is. But as you can see, the higher light you give it, then the more white you're going to get. But I actually prefer this type of leaf. So maybe I will move this plant at some stage. I'm really enjoying the leaf size up. Really pretty. That one literally just unfurled. So going up, we've got a Hoya linearis, another one, I know. I've got another one in the hallway. And I have another one of these plants in my living room, also in pon, as you can see, and quite a beautiful length. This one has bloomed, but not this year for some reason. I don't know why, but the temperatures have been very high, and this one does kind of prefer cooler evenings. So hopefully you'll get to bloom a little later, like towards autumn. This is my Hoya Wietii. Oh my gosh, it only recently bloomed. You must go and check out some of my Hoya videos if you haven't seen any. The bloom is gorgeous. If I ever lost this plant, I would most definitely rebuy it. It's one of my favorite Hoyas, one of my favorite blooms. Blooms like crazy. It's absolutely full of peduncles. They're all over the place. I love this kind of like bean pod shape and the darkness around the edge of the leaf is really interesting. This plant, the same as this one, is in pon, and they're both in drainage pots, but obviously they're in these decorative pots. So I do still leave a reservoir of water. So at the bottom of the pot, I always put leca balls, just so that the pond is kind of submerged or lifted above the water reservoir. And yeah, it will just sip when it wants and when it needs. Next is my string of hearts. And I don't know if you can really see them properly because of the light. But yeah, she's got like a really pinky tone, that getting super high light here in front of this southwest facing window. And I've had this plant for many years. It hits the floor every summer and I end up chopping it and then propagating it again. Yeah, a very easy grower, can get a bit tangly, but I've just kind of been letting it do its thing. Over here is my Peperomia Hope, and I just recently repotted this plant and added some cuttings. It's looking so happy. Look at all these little growth, new little leaves and stuff. Yeah, it's super happy in that area. It gets like kind of dappled lighting, and it seems, yeah, it's very chill, very easy plant. If you forget to water it, it doesn't really seem to show any signs of unhappiness. I've not seen that yet. And then I've got 2 gardens in a pot, and they're full of succulents. So we've got like a jade plant in the back. I actually don't know the name of this jade plant. I got it from IKEA. And this guy here is my Warty, Mr. Warty. And this I also bought from IKEA, and it was like literally just one little thing like that, and it's just exploded. It gets bigger and bigger every year. It seems like a very slow grower, but from year to year it really does expand. And then this is my Echevera, well, it's a Pachevera, the powder puff. It does flower. It has a really crazy plastic looking flower that will shoot out the top there. Got a little cactus back, which I recently repotted. This one in the tiny little pot was a gift, and it is a candlestick plant. I recently chopped it up and rerouted it, and I think it's going to survive because we are seeing tiny little leaves at the ends. So oh, I'm really relieved actually, because it wasn't doing that for quite a long time. This crazy looking hanging succulent is called burrito, or the donkey tail, and I'm obsessed with it. I absolutely love this plant. Once I mastered this plant, then I was like, okay, because I've had many succulents and many of them are not here anymore. But yeah, I managed to get this one to get us through a whole year, and then I was like, right, let's go for it. Let's get more succulents, and I will be getting more succulents because I do absolutely love them. You know, they're so easy to take care of. Once a month you're watering. In the winter, it's like twice throughout the whole winter. I've got another, I don't think that's an Echevera actually. That's a jade plant. It's the money, sometimes it's called the money plant. That's this one. And then I've got 2 little African bushes at the back, which I bought from the pound shop. And then this gorgeous purple Echevera for a splash of colour in the pot. So yeah, I'm really happy with this little corner. So I missed a plant, I'm trying not to. This is a Rhipsalis. It's my Rhipsalis agadunense. I'll write the correct spelling up. I got it as a cutting, and I recently chopped it, and so now we've got like about 5 little pieces in there. I did do a video, I think it was a Rhipsalis day, so you can check that out. But yeah, it's doing really well. It rooted very quickly. Oh, lovely, some sun. Yeah, that's that dude. Yeah, so over here I have my Draciana, and this is one of my oldest plants. I actually chopped it up. I've got another part which I'll show you just now. Yeah, I chopped it up, I rerouted it and put it in pon, and it was in like this plastic bottle for ages, and I recently repotted it into this glass vessel. As you can see, it was looking kind of sad for a little bit. It didn't like being repotted at all, but it's looking perky and bouncy again now. So yeah, we do have a lot of brown tippage, but it really didn't. It was the repot. It just didn't. It didn't like it, and it probably didn't really need it, to be honest. But I just wanted to do it so that I didn't have to do it later in the year. Okay, down here, excuse the light, it's because I'm stood in front of the window as well. Yeah, this here is my lucky bamboo, and it's just sitting in like this glass vessel. very easy, just lives in pure water and just grows and grows and grows. But I don't know, I just really love it. It's just so simple and I love the simplicity of it. I might chop it up one of these days, we'll see. Okay, down here I have more plants in water. So this is my Syngonium albo. I've had this for many years, and I don't know, sometimes we get on, sometimes we don't. Let me drag her out. Up there. But what I'm loving right now is we're getting lots of new leaves. Lots of new leaves. So what kind of happens with me with this plant is that the leaves will just end up coming out pure white, and then of course they don't last because they can't photosynthesize, but I'll just have one after the next after the next. So hence the fact that it's down here in the corner where there's barely any light, and I think that's working out, although that worries me a bit. Oh, here's my other Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. So yeah, this is growing completely from wet sticks very recently. So we've got super juvenile leaves, although that one's looking like it's got, oh, some fenestration. Cute, very cute. Excuse that bang, that's my neighbours slamming doors. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, shall we continue down here? So we've got another Rhipsalis here. That was actually a gift given to me. Rhipsalis Heves Amazonica, or as I'm gonna have to write the name up because for the life of me, I can't remember its name. Not my most favourite Rhipsalis, I must say. It's a little odd. And I mean, I generally like odd plants, but that's just not doing anything for me really. So I don't know if this one's going to stay. We'll see. Maybe I should just give it a chance to get a little bit more bushier or something. This here is yet another Monstera albo, or a cutting, which I grew from pretty much a wet stick, and recently got this gorgeous half moon, if not more, little half moon leaves, so pretty. And the leaves before that were looking not great, so it's nice to see that as it's growing with each leaf, the leaves are looking a lot healthier, like a healthier shape and whatever. This is a cutting from my Hoya australis lisa, which you would have seen in the first video. This is a cutting from my Paradoxa minor, which, to be honest, it's been in that pot for about a year and done absolutely nothing. And then next is yet another Monstera albo cutting. The leaves are huge, but not as much white splashes on this guy. This is my Hoya Crimson Princess, and she's in soil in a drainage pot, and yeah, seems to be doing well. I might actually sell that plant though. This is yet another albo, slightly more interesting leaf design. This is my Scindapsus exotica, and I've chopped this plant up at the end of the winter. Take it out. Yeah, I chopped this plant up at the end of last winter, and so now it's busy kind of growing, and it's doing really well. It seems to like its new spot down here, where the sun kind of does drift along this area. This is my yet another albo. This is my Pachira aquatica. It was like the top cut of it. I had a tiny little cutting. The leaves have definitely started growing a lot larger now, and it was living in a terrarium for quite a long time, but it seems to be coping with the low humidity in my home. Okay, let's go up, 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 up. This is my Maranta Fascinator, and it lives in pure sphagnum moss, and since I've done that, we're getting super healthy, lovely leaves with barely any browning, which is fantastic. That for me is quite an achievement. And I just love the design of this leaf. So here is my, it's actually the bottom cut of all those Monstera albo cuttings. So yeah, the leaves, as you can see, not so great, but we managed to salvage this plant by producing lots of babies. And yeah, it's kind of in this, I'm gonna have to sort out this vessel, it's not looking great. Let's move along actually, because yeah, there's not much to say about that plant. This is actually my Philodendron Florida Ghost. So you can see the new leaf will come out white, but it will go green very quickly. But I do love it for its leaf shape. It's like a burst of stars, or a burst of little ghosts, I guess. So yeah, it gets that kind of ghost name from its shape. And the Florida bit is because I guess it's from Florida. Love her, she's very pretty. Oh, here's my other Dracaena marginata. So we've got two little cuttings in this pot, and I'm busy trying to get it to bend. So I keep kind of shifting it. I move this one quite often into different areas, and you can see like all the different little bends that it got from just having to lean towards the light, which is just, I love this plant. Down here is a Sansevieria. It's the wow fin, and it's got quite a few pups in there. We've got 4, and yeah, I love it. I'd like it to get really, really big, but yeah, it's definitely a slow grower. This is a cutting of my Philodendron Brazil, finally doing well. But yeah, that's that dude. We've got another Sansevieria. I think this one's called Laura. And I recently repotted this one directly into terracotta, so we'll see how it gets on. But yeah, I've had it for many years, and it's now actually finally moving. It's growing. So I guess it took a little while to get used to my home and to me. But yeah, she's settling in nicely now after many years. Behind there is my Thanksgiving plant. It has white blooms, and I'm looking forward to that one actually starting to, I don't know. It'd be nice if it kind of hung over the pot. At the moment it's still standing up. This is my Epiphyllum Guttagamensia. I'll write the name out because I'm probably saying that wrong. Yeah, it's, you know, it's kind of hit and miss. Another one that I'm kind of struggling with. I've just recently changed its pot and soil, so hopefully it'll start looking a little happier. Another philodendron, this is the lemon lime. This is my Sansevieria starfish. I actually have another one. I love this plant so much. It's so dramatic. I mean, it's a showstopper. If you would imagine that being really big and just having that in the corner on its own, yeah, it could be a feature plant. And there's 2 in there, so we've got a pup and the mummy behind. This is another Ripsalis. Let's go in the back. Achira Shaferi. I'll write that up. It seems to be very happy. It's very wiry, and I mean, it's kind of hanging, but it's also not. It's just got his own vibe going on. It looks a bit nuts actually, but yeah, I do love that one. Going up, oh my gosh, another Maranta. This is the variegated one. I've had this for a long time, and it has been hit and miss. But now it's in pure sphagnum moss. It's doing amazing things. Look how bushy it is. I've never seen it so bushy. And oh, look, these splashes. I mean, I do tend to forget to water still, but it's definitely not on the same level as before. I mean, it's just exploding. It did actually flower recently. It had like this really cute little white flower, but unfortunately they're all gone. But yeah, we've got a lot of new leaves happening. Look at that one. So nice. I wonder what this one's gonna do. Ooh, pretty. Yeah, this one really makes me feel like I can be a really good parent, plant parent. Oh, I almost forgot these Ripsalis down here. I've just seen them. So this one is my Ripsalis elliptica. It was a gift. And yeah, she's doing good things, but I can't wait for it to get a bit bigger. This guy is called Ripsalis Waldiana. I've had this for quite a while. She's really cute, and when she gets more light you get kind of like a redness to the green, which is really pretty. Okay, let's go back up. Okay. Next is another Ripsalis. This is the Pilocarpa. It has flowered many times. It's got like these kind of weird fluffy cotton ball flower that will be on the tips. In fact, it might be getting ready to bloom again now. Yeah, I think it is. It's just, yeah, it's interesting. It's not a showstopper, the flowers, but it's cute. It's cute that it wants to flower for me. So, oh, I missed a plant. This is actually a cutting of my Philodendron Splendid that I grew from a wet stick. Another Hoya. This is the Crimson Queen, and she is gorgeous. She blooms very often and is full of peduncles, and I absolutely love the fact that there's this white halo. So between the Queen and the Princess that's down there, I prefer the Queen. Like, I just prefer the variation of leaf design, and this one has bloomed also, whereas the Princess hasn't bloomed. And the leaves on the Princess, I mean, they're pretty, but I have the Australis Lisa, which I find are slightly more impressive. Oh, my battery's dying. Yeah, slightly more impressive leaves. So yeah, that one's not going to be around for much longer, and I do need to get rid of all these Monstera albos, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 out here. That's 4 too many. Okay, oh, I didn't tell you this one. This is a Ripsalis, the red coral. If I were giving it higher light, it would look red, but it's living there. Who else? This is my string of turtles. I actually grew this from one tiny little string. Look at it go. It's doing absolutely fabulously now. And it's so weird. It's another plant that I said I was going to get rid of, and it must have heard me and decided to shoot out. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? Oh, that should really be hanging, shouldn't it? I might have to raise that one up. I love the little different levels and stuff, and that's just the way it wanted to grow. From literally one, I think it was about this length from where my thumb is, and then I wound it in the pot and it grew, and then I wound it in the pot. It was a process. It took like 2 years. This is yet another Hoya linearis. It's in soil, and it's going to be sold very soon. And behind the linearis is my Rhaphidophora hayi. It's doing ever so well. I got this as a cutting and I didn't know its name for a really long time, so I'm pleased that I actually have a name for you now. This tiny little leaf there was the very first one that grew in my care, and you can see where it was cut. And then everything above is brand new, and I'm absolutely loving the way it's looking and looking forward to it just trailing up the wall. So yeah, this is my other Sansevieria starfish. And I don't know what's going on, but it's growing like crazy. I recently put all my Sansevieria into terracotta pots, just like a little update. I'm doing quite well with the watering. Yes, I am watering them more often, but I don't know, the plants are doing well, and we've got like this little pup just came out of nowhere. So there's definitely no complaints from the actual plant, but yeah, I am watering a little more often. All these plants actually that are in terracotta pots, so this one, the wowfin, well, maybe not this one, and the other starfish, they actually get soaked in a bucket, which I did earlier today, so you probably saw that in the beginning of the video. Yeah, but this guy, you can't really do that because the saucer is attached. And yeah, you have to water from the top basically. So I think we've covered all the plants in the hallway. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, so Future Me is back with a plant that I forgot to show you. So this is my Monstera oblique Peru. As you can see, it's not looking amazing, and it keeps chucking out this really long stem thing, which is quite annoying. But the reason why it's here alone is because it's had mealybug, so I kind of scooped off as much as I could find. But yeah, I'm really struggling with this one, so if you have any advice, please do leave that in the comments. I think we did it, guys. Oh no, we've still got the propagation. Okay, let's go do that. We did it. We actually did the hallway, the kitchen, and now we've got the propagation box. There's so many good things happening in here. Oh, I just want you to have a look in this box before I start pulling things out, because it looks so good. Look at all of this. Okay, so the first plant that I'm going to show you, I'm just going to go straight in with my favorite. Look what I got. And this is from just like a little bottom cut from my Anthurium forgetii. Look at the size of that leaf. I'm so proud of this moment right now. Like, it's so weird. Excuse me. It's just bizarre because I had this cutting in that box for ages and I really didn't think anything was going to happen, to be honest. And for it to throw out such a large leaf has just blown my mind. It does need some water actually, so I'll probably do that now. I just love this little guy. He is adorable. Let's give you a little bit of water, dude. So yeah, I was really happy to see this. I probably will take it out of the propagation bin soon. Maybe I should do that today. But anyway, that's the first one that I wanted to show you because so cute. Next cutie patootie is this guy, which is a cutting from my fuzzy petiole. Check out its latest leaf. It's still hardening off. and that's the one before. It was literally just a wet stick. And I can also see like a new shoot happening in that pot there. It's in pure sphagnum moss because that's how I propagate a lot of my plants, in sphagnum moss. Sometimes I use water, not very often. Like generally I want to put it straight into a substrate that it can live in for a while. And like, you know, I'm quite a lazy plant parent, so like having to change the water all the time and that kind of stuff doesn't really happen. Do we need water? That one's okay, oddly, but I think I will just give it a little splashing because they're going to go back in the prop box. And I'll probably will sell this plant because I'm trying not to keep duplicates. So I mean, a lot of these plants I'm actually going to grow to sell. Let's see, we've got another fuzzy petiole. Let me just, no, is it? Oh, it is. Look how tiny these little leaves are, and you can see like the fuzzy but really quite delicate. I don't know if you can see that actually, but yeah, we've got some more fuzzy petioles. I've got quite a few cuttings in here. 1, 2, 3 stems in here. Is this, or is this the Splendid? I'm sure this is the Splendid. I really must start labeling things, to be honest with you, because that's not good. Give you a little bit of water. Yeah, it did look a little dodge, this plant, for quite a long time. Like, that was the first leaf that I got, and I thought, oh dear, does it have some sort of pest, or I don't know. But yeah, there are 3 separate plants in there. So I'm going to be putting that back in the box. Okay, so I had a massive Philodendron Splendid. I chopped it up, I sold bits, I repotted it, I re-put it on a moss pot. I did a lot of different things to it last year. And this year it's literally just been like, will you just leave me alone? Actually, I really actually do wish I hadn't chopped that plant. It was standing at 6 foot. I don't know what would have happened. Maybe it would have grown over the ceiling if I'd just left it be. So yeah, I've learnt my lesson. We lost quite a few leaves. Well, I chopped off quite a few leaves because they got a lot of thrip damage and EFN and all the things. That's why I have so many wet sticks from my Philodendron Splendid. But yeah, I've got 2 in this one, and I think they're going to be quite reasonably sized leaves. I have 3 in this one. So if you can see, if I go like that maybe, oh there we go. And I have just 2 in this one. So yeah, we've got 7 Splendids here. This is my only alocasia. So I did a bit of an experiment actually. I'm not an alocasia girl. I'm sorry, I'm just not. And there's very few that impress me. I don't particularly like the fact that you have to be above it to see the leaves. And I don't want to like put down the alocasias, but I personally just don't find them aesthetically pleasing. But this is the Amazonica Bambino, and these were just a bunch of corms that I had. I stuck them in some sphagnum moss and I just slammed the lid on, and this is what happened. Very cute plant though, because we do have that kind of red back that you guys know I love. And we've got quite a few little sprouts happening in here, so maybe this will look more interesting because it'll just look fuller. But like, you know, that one stalk with a bunch of leaves, it's just not for me. No, but this is looking very hopeful. 2 very sad begonia cuttings. They weren't that attractive when they went in, so you know, I just thought I'd grow them because maybe someone would want them and I could give them as a gift, but These are actually just taking up space, and I might just get rid of these. I'll put those over there. Next. Oh. Do you want to take a wild guess what this is? It's an anthurium. Oh, I really wish I could hear what you're saying, but what? Yeah, this is the bottom cut of my Pallidiflorum. The really long strappy one. And this is its very first leaf. Little baby. Here, I really wouldn't have expected the leaf to look quite so round. But yeah, there it is. And you can see there's more happening. There's a lot going on in there. Yeah, so it's the bottom cut. It's got all the roots. It's got a bunch of roots. And I really wasn't expecting this. So I had another cutting and that one just dried up. And I thought, oh, okay, this is a tricky plant to propagate. It's my first experience propagating a Pallidiflorum, and yeah, so far I can tell you, not the easiest out of all of them, so maybe that does kind of explain its price. This is a Anthurium warwickwianum. Nothing to see here, yeah. So I had this Anthurium warwickwianum. It had a really long stomp. So beneath the soil, there was this long stomp, like the stem of the plant, basically. Sorry, yeah, so it's quite long, and I actually managed to chop it into quite a few sections. So I've got one that's in my living room on the shelf, and the leaf is looking a bit funky. So the reason why this warwickwianum got chopped up was because it had it came with this bacterial infection. And when I bought the plant, it had 4 leaves, but one leaf was a bit dotty, and I just thought it had measles. And I just thought, oh, I'll just cut that one off and then it'll be fine. And I cut it off, and the leaf that was, I can't explain it. But the leaf that would have come after that then got the dots, and every time you cut one leaf, the leaf that came after would get dotty. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but this is another bit of the bottom cut from that stomp, and you can see it took a very long time for it to activate, but it has. So that's good news. And then here's another one, and you can see there's a little growth point. And she is as dry as a bone. So here I have 4 cuttings from my Philodendron gloriosum. The gloriosum is the creeping plant, and I always get this massive part with no leaves. So I decided to chop that off, cut it into 4 pieces, and this is what I got. I think only 3 of them have activated, which is the one that, oh no, they have they? Oh yeah, this is the other one. This is the slowest one right here. It does have an active point. It's just taking its sweet ass time. Sorry, let me get you in the center. Yeah, so it has activated, but it's much slower than the others. But yeah, I mean, this one has 2 leaves. You can see. So that's good news. It'd be really nice to grow it to a certain size, and then I can find new homes for these guys too. Oh, there's one last plant I was just about to say, so that's everything. It's not. This is my Monstera Thai constellation. So I had a Monstera Thai constellation. It was really big, it was massive, and I decided to get rid of it because, one, it was taking up a lot of space. It was really spreading out. Like it was just, if I have a photo, I'll show you. But it was just kind of really kind of bullying out the other plants, and I would have to put it on its own. And then I was also struggling with the watering. Like the other monsteras I find much easier, but the Thai, for some reason, it's like you can go weeks and weeks without watering it, and then water it, and then it's like, I don't know, you can overwater it really easily. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how long you're meant to wait in between watering. So I took a bottom cut before selling the plant. I trimmed off all the rotting roots and just made it as healthy and happy for the next journey. And this is what I saved for myself. This is its latest leaf. So it's actually quite nice to start with something dinky. That was its first leaf, which is to be expected to have a leaf that looks a little bit kind of deformed. But there's also another shoot here on the side, and I don't know what's going to happen there, but it'd be really nice to have two activated parts, or it might get to a stage where I'll have to cut it and separate it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Okay, let me take this box down. So that propagation box actually lives in my bedroom, and it has a plant light on top of it, so the light will stay on for about, I think I've got it on for about 8 hours a day. But yeah, I'm quite impressed. I mean, it's not a space that I go into very often. It's tucked in a corner. I had to move a shelving unit just to get it out because, you know, a tiny little home of mine. But so it's not a box. It's not a box I get to look in that often. Where's the forgetty eye? But this was a really pleasant surprise, and I'm just so happy to have another forgetty eye. It's just... So I might try and acclimatise this one now. I can actually see another shoot. How bizarre is that? I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, it's kind of there near my finger. Yeah, there's all sorts of things going on. I definitely want to acclimatise this. The forgetty eye most definitely is out of, well, besides the clarinervium, but out of all of my anthuriums, the forgetty eye is still a mystery to me. They are little fuss pots. Mine would prefer to live in the propagation bins, but I want them out on the shelf. So we're just gonna have to fight it out, and only the fittest will survive. So yeah, hopefully this one will survive. I am going to take it out today. I think I'm also going to take out the forgettia, the philodendron fuzzy petioles. I think they're going to come out of the box. This is going back in the box. I'm not ready for this one. I've got a lot to learn when it comes to alocasia. So yeah, I'm not quite ready to do that. So that's going to go back in the box. I'll probably put these little fuzzy petioles back in also, and just let them size up. They're still really young. And this dude, I got myself a Monstera Thai, a little baby one, which is perfect for me for the size of my home. And by the time it gets to the stage where it's, you know, needs its own corner, hopefully I'll be living in a bigger home by then. But yeah, I'm really pleased that I have at least this cutting. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. And I really hope that I managed to get everything all into this one video without it looking really rushed. So, and I'm really sorry about the lighting. I mean, I was going to wait until 5 o'clock because that's when the light's meant to get better, but I've got a lot of other things I need to get done. So yeah, excuse the lighting. Hopefully I can adjust that in editing. Let me know which one was your favourite plant, or also do you have any of these plants yourself and which one is your favourite? Have any tips or tricks? Leave that in the comments down below for us all. And lastly, don't forget to give me a thumbs up because it really helps with the algorithm. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet and you've managed to get this far in the video, you clearly like it here. Just stay, just keep coming back. Have a fabulous week, sending lots of love.